I'm Shane with etrailer.Com. Today I'm going to walk through how to install Roadmaster's Diode Wiring Kit on your 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Adding the diode wiring kit to your vehicle is going to allow the vehicle to receive light functions from the motorhome while it's being flat towed so that you're legal and safe. It's going to be one of the 5 main components in a flat tow setup. The other 4 are going to be your base plate, your safety cables, your braking system, and your tow bar. You can find each one of those components here at etrailer.com. As you can see here, with our Jeep hooked up to our motorhome, we're getting our signal from our motorhome back to our Jeep so that we're legal and we're safe. Everybody around us is going to know what we're doing, whether we're turning, braking, or driving at night. The nice thing about the diode kit is it's going to connect directly into factory wiring behind each taillight through the diodes. And what the diodes do is they protect the factory wiring on the Jeep from any backfeed from the motorhome if there's a wiring issue, and vice versa. The nice thing about them is once they're installed, there's no maintenance with them. They allow you to utilize the factory taillights and light bulbs while the vehicle is being flat towed. And when you're not flat towing the vehicle, you're using your lights as you normally would, so it doesn't affect them in any way. Start our installation. You're going to have 4-pole wiring like this. It's going to be rolled up. On the end of it, actually on each end, you're going to have a 4-pole plug. If your RV does not have wiring on it already, what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to cut about 3 foot of it off. That's going to be the end that you're going to wire to the RV. The other end, with the other plug on it, is going to come out the front here. You're going to have a tether that's going to tie between the two to give you that connection. If not, you can cut both ends off. You're going to take your wire. On the new Rubicons, this is a metal pan. Drill a hole in it, run your wire back. We're going to run it to the back of the vehicle where the taillights are. You want to make sure you're staying away from anything hot or moving. What I like to do with the Jeep, because it's more of an off-road vehicle, is run it right through the frame. It's very easy to do because the frame has got holes in it from front to back. We come right over here. There's a hole. I ran it through here. And if we follow our frame rail down, you'll see some large holes. What I use is an airline tube. If you have a wire hanger, you can do that. And you just feed it through the holes, pass it down to the next one, all the way back until you get to this large hole right here. Pull your wires out, separate your green from your yellow, brown, and white. Now, your white one, you can ground it here if you want, somewhere underneath. You just want to make sure it's all metal. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all 3 of these. I'm going to feed them up behind my tail light. I'm going to see if I can't ground it up there somewhere. If I can't, then I can always pass my white wire down and ground it underneath here. Once we get to the back of the vehicle, we need to remove our tail lights. If we come inside, right up here, there's going to be a little panel like this. You're just going to pop it off. You can use a plastic trim panel tool, screwdriver. Right inside, you're going to have a spring-loaded bolt that holds our light in. Use a 10mm socket to remove it. We're going to do the same thing on both sides of the vehicle. Light out, and then we need to disconnect our wiring. Pull up the red tab. You're going to push this black tab here and pull the end out. And then set your lights aside. Next, we need to pull some of the coating back to test our wiring to see which ones we're going to need. I'm actually going to test them here, but I'm going to need to pull this back anyway because this is where we're going to retie our diodes into it. To get our wires up, I actually ran it right through the corner down here instead of back there by the fuel tank fill tube. Running it here keeps the wires nice and tight up underneath here. We tested our wires and we determined that our yellow wire is going to be our brake and turn signal. Our white wire with the gray stripe is going to be our running light signal on our driver's side. So now we'll take our 3 wires and I'm going to cut them to size. It should give me plenty of length. Cut it down like that. and we want to separate them. And we're going to have plenty of room in here to ground our white wire. I'm actually going to ground it right there to that. Again, we just want to make sure it's on metal and on any plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the yellow and white wire first. The brown wire is going to be a little bit different, which I'll show you here in a second. We're going to strip back our white wire, add on our ring terminal. It comes in our kit. Crimp it down. And we'll take our self-taping screw. And again, I'm just going to put it right on that double folded metal there. Take our yellow wire, strip it back. Take our diode. Any of the diodes, we're going to use this blue. Put one on the end of our yellow wire, crimp it down. We're going to take our yellow wire on our plug, cut it in half, strip back both ends, and we're going to add 2 more Spade connectors. We'll take our diode, single side. It's going to go towards the plug. Once we plug our factory wiring back into the diode, we've just completed that circuit back again for our factory taillights. We'll take the other yellow one coming from our wiring going to the front of the vehicle, and we'll plug it on the other side. That's going to allow us to use our factory taillights while we're towing the vehicle behind the motorhome. For our brown wire, we're going to strip this one back a little bit longer. Your extra wiring that you had cut off, we need to split that and get the brown wire out. You don't necessarily have to use the brown. I like to try to keep mine color matched. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie this brown wire into our other brown wire into the factory wiring, and it's going to be a jumper that we're going to run with the green wire over to the passenger side to give us our running light signal on that side. So now we're going to strip this one back also. We're going to take these two, put them together. One of your diodes is going to have a yellow connector on it like this. It's going to be a little bit wider opening, and it's for these 2 wires. Put it on and crimp it down. We'll make our connection, and then we're going to take this wire and feed it back down through the hole and come out of the bottom. Now we'll take our gray and white wire, same way we did this one. I'm going to split it in half, strip back both ends. Add a blue Spade connector onto each one. Now we can put on our diode. Again, single side goes out towards the plug. We just completed that circuit. Now we'll add in our brown wire. Which is now going to give us our running light signal while we're flat towing the vehicle. We'll take our brown wire, feed it back down through the hole, and come out the bottom. The back of each diode is going to have some tape on it. Peel the paper off. What I like to do is take the 2, you can stick them together like that. Take a zip tie that comes in your kit, and you can run it around that and your wiring, your factory wiring. It'll kind of keep everything together there. The reason we're doing it like this is going to be kind of hard to take our diodes and stick them to something here and being able to plug our light in. Once we get that done, we can go ahead and put our light back in. Just reinstall the spring bolt. what I did with my green and brown wire to get it over to the passenger side. Your heat shield's going to have 2 nuts on it. Take an 11mm socket, remove those, tuck your wires up underneath, and then reinstall the nuts. When you get over here to the passenger side frame rail, I just took my wires straight out from this side of my heat shield, went right over top of the frame, right to here. Now we're going to take our green and brown wire, we're going to run it right over to this corner, same thing we did on the driver's side, up through the taillight, into the taillight pocket behind the taillight. On our passenger side, the green wire coming out of our plug is going to be for our brake and turn signal. White wire with the orange stripe is going to be our running light signal. The only difference on our passenger side from our driver is our brown wire is going to be a single brown wire going into that plug instead of doubled. Then we'll just do the same thing we did on driver's side, put the 2 together, zip tie them to the factory wiring, reinstall our taillight. Now the 6-pole plug does not come with this kit. Depending on the tow bar you get, it could come with a tow bar. There are other kits that have your diode wiring in it. They come with the diodes, come with the plug, and come with the umbilical cord. Our customer here, the 6-pole plug actually is coming with their tow bar. So what we did is we just kind of installed it like this for now, just so we can test out our lights to make sure everything's working correctly. Now we'll test out our wiring using an alternate power source. It's going to simulate being hooked up to your RV. Tail lights, left turn, brake lights, right turn. Once you've tested everything, you know it's working correctly, you're ready to go. That's going to do it for a look at and installation on Roadmaster's Diode Wiring Kit on your 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.